Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I'm doing something a little different than what I typically do, and that's because of the NFL gods and their football schedule. The Dolphins are playing the Chiefs at 9:30 this morning in Germany, so while on Sunday I'd usually wake up extra early, try to get my videos recorded and whatnot before the football games I want to watch are on TV, today I didn't really get that choice, so I'm going to be maybe the first YouTuber ever who is going to make a full-on YouTube commentary while also watching an NFL football game with one of his favorite teams in it. So please bear with me through that if I sound a little weird at moments throughout the video, but I'm going to try and obviously focus first and foremost on the content ahead of me here. So today I wanted to come to you guys and talk to you about ad blockers because this has been something that has obviously been pretty relevant in the YouTube community for a long time, but probably never before as much as it is now. And that's really because, honestly, let's just say it for what it is, YouTube themselves are the reason that ad blockers are as popular as they are right now. Over the last few years, YouTube has been introducing more and more pervasive advertising. Now, I'm gonna just be honest with you, as a content creator, I can't complain fully, because a lot of these moves have undoubtedly helped me financially through ad revenue and whatnot. But at the same time, as a user of YouTube, as somebody on the platform who does care about the community, I do understand people being frustrated, you know, with the double ads that are non-skippable, and even in some cases, YouTube showing some 3-hour long ads. I don't even understand how that's possible, but just ridiculous new features and moves by YouTube when it comes to advertising. And then, of course, in the last few months, there's been a lot of debate around these ad blockers because YouTube has been trying to crack down on them pretty heavily. YouTube has been trying to basically insert a prompt on the website that if it determines you're using some sort of ad blocker software or plugin through your browser, whatever it may be, basically YouTube has been trying to detect that, and then they issue a little warning basically telling you can't watch the video unless you got your ad blocker turned off. So I made a video about this a few months ago, talking about it when, they were first kind of phasing these tests in when it came to all of this and whatnot, right? And now YouTube has been way more aggressive in it. They're actually starting to implement it widespread, I guess. They're starting to bring this prompt out more and more now. I will say, I personally have YouTube Premium. I'm not here to sell you on that because, I definitely understand people not wanting to give money to YouTube, but for me personally, I use YouTube Music, which you get for free with it, and I also, like having videos downloaded in case, Wi-Fi's out, or if it's like a podcast and I'm on a long trip. There's also, of course, ad-free viewing and whatnot. Honestly, it's just really about whether or not you want those features. But a lot of people obviously don't want to pay for YouTube Premium, and so they just use free ad blockers. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't think most YouTube creators really have too much of a problem with it. Honestly, I also have used ad blockers for the better part of a decade now on pretty much every website across the internet. So YouTube, though, with this new move where they've been kind of widespread implementing this attempt to stop ad blockers, they've essentially, I think, triggered a war with the YouTube community, and I don't think this is honestly a battle that YouTube is going to win, and that's honestly a positive for everybody using ad blockers. Now, I know that thousands of you watching this video right now, you're using an ad blocker on it, and as a result, I don't get paid. And that's what YouTube is supposedly trying to fight, and I get that, but personally, I don't feel robbed when you use an ad blocker on my content. I have plenty of wonderful subscribers who, have gotten Watch Optimus subscriptions for exclusive content, things like that. That helps financially support me. I make plenty of money through advertising on this website. I really don't sit around and fucking complain or cry about it, because who cares? But it's now legitimately sparked war between the community and this platform, because they keep trying to push this down everyone's throat with, stopping these ad blockers so that they can make more money. And it's leading to a process that I think we've seen time and time again in technology. And realistically, when you look at that history of these things happening, it almost always goes our way in terms of favoring ad blockers and whatnot, right? It always goes our way. So YouTube recently expanded its ad blocking efforts, transitioning from just a small experiment to a global launch. The move appears to have had some success, as users are uninstalling softwares in record numbers, but you can also argue it had the opposite effect, as even higher numbers of users are turning to better ad blockers. Hundreds of thousands of users have uninstalled ad blockers in October, seemingly in connection with YouTube's broadened crackdown, according to a report from Wired. At the same time, data shows that record-breaking numbers of people are also installing alternatives alternatives that won't be caught in YouTube's net. Krzysztof Modras of Ghostry, one of the more popular ad blockers in Chrome's extension store, says they've seen 3 to 5 times the amount of installs and uninstalls over the last month. Over 90% of those users who uninstalled the extension cited the software failing on YouTube as the reason for the decision. However, the company saw a 30% uptick in installations on Microsoft Edge, with users attempting to find a suitable alternative. Yeah, thank you for letting me know the fucking Chiefs scored, phone. Anyway, another ad blocker, AdGuard, told the outlet they normally see about 6,000 uninstallations per day on Chrome, but that number shot up to 11,000 per day between October 9th and the end of the month, peaking at 52,000 on October 18th. However, the paid version of the extension appears to be immune to YouTube's ban. It's reported that the company says when people realized this, user counts increased, reaching up to 60,000 installations on October 18th and October 27th. Right now, it appears YouTube's crackdown on ad blockers has people scrambling to find a better alternative. Some people are even turning to solutions like NewPipe, a YouTube-like website that's capable of running videos from the platform without ads. Experts from the industry, like Modras, are warning that YouTube's efforts to stop ad blockers could result in more complex blocking tactics. These more complex tactics could lead to the creation of unintentional security holes. If you're looking for alternatives, extensions like uBlock Origin still work when used on Firefox. AdBlock Plus has offered some suggestions on how to get past the anti-ad block wall. Also, you have the option of biting the bullet and paying for YouTube Premium. So this article is from Android Authority, and I guess to an extent Wired due to the whole initial sourcing and whatnot here. But I mean, you look at these numbers and you look at the trend or whatever that's kind of going on with this whole situation, and realistically, it's kind of, if you think about it, just like how it always has been, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm some sort of like super old head, but I know a lot of you watching this video are not really old enough to know who these like companies or situations are, right? But you got to think about like back in the early 2000s with like Napster and the Pirate Bay and all these other places that came along, and you know, the whole pirating situation, right? It was a new wave of piracy on the internet due to platforms like this, right? Where, you know, on like Napster, you could just go and download virtually any song you wanted to, or that was the whole idea, and it didn't matter, you know, if it was a Metallica song or an Eminem song or whatever, right? You could go download it. That was what the cool thing about that kind of shit was. And of course, you could still pirate today very easily, maybe even easier than back then. But these platforms, you know, they got sued, they got attacked by the government and by music companies, and, you know, all these different pirating platforms have been hit by entertainment companies, music companies, gaming companies. It doesn't matter, man. No matter what you do in these situations, if you're a company like YouTube, it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars you have, how many thousands of employees you've got, no matter what company is in your corner, you are simply not going to prevent people from accessing content online for free. It doesn't matter what the paywall is, what the idea behind it is. In any world where somebody can somehow access it for free, it will get accessed for free. Now, obviously, there's quite a massive difference between pirating a whole, you know, fucking Tupac album or whatever, and, you know, watching my YouTube video without ad block. You don't buy that indie artist's album or whatever, they lose out on the $9.99 or whatever you paid for the album, you know? You watch 2 of my videos without ad block, I lose out on like a fifth of a penny, okay? So, like, I'm not sitting here on suicide alert or anything over fucking people using ad blockers. And really, no YouTuber should. The way that I've said before, the way I've always seen it, the way I've always kind of conceptualized and coped with it, if you will, is I see it as an expense or a cost of doing business. Like, I mean, if I was running a trucking company, I would have to take into account that every once in a while, one of the trucks might get a flat tire and they won't make the delivery on time and I'll lose out on money. And as a YouTuber, I have to assume that a lot of people will use ad block and I will therefore lose out on revenue. It's things that happen, you know what I mean? It's fucking, that's the way it is. It's the cost of doing business. Now, for YouTube, obviously, they want to make as much money as they can, and sure, I do too, but I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lose sleep about it. I mean, also probably really have shareholders to please and, you know, Google up my ass or whatever, but, you know, it doesn't really matter, you know, like, ultimately, it's not a big fucking deal. But now that YouTube is going to war in this way where they're trying to crack down on this, all they're doing is incentivizing people to find better ways to do shit like this. All they're incentivizing people to do is find even sneakier methods and even better tactics to get around these. Because, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I like YouTube Premium. I don't mind paying for it or whatever. But I know most people don't want to pay, what, $13, $15, however many dollars a month for YouTube.com. I get it. It's something that people have always seen as like a free video sharing platform. I understand why people don't want to pay for it. Ultimately, this whole YouTube thing, right, where they're trying to crack down on these ad blockers, right? It's like the Miami Dolphins running a fucking counter run on 2nd and 10 against the Chiefs. It's probably not going to go anywhere. And the reason it's not going to go anywhere is because it's not the right call. Sure, YouTube, they lose, I don't even want to imagine how much money YouTube ultimately loses due to ad blocking. But there's no way to get around it. No matter how many prompts you put on the website or whatever, you're not going to stop people from pirating quote-unquote YouTube videos by not watching the ads. And honestly, I don't even view it as piracy. I don't even view it as a big fucking deal. And now it's getting to the point where so many people are trying to find alternatives that now security experts are kind of getting worried. Like, hey, we're funneling all of these people from these trusted platforms and plugins, and they now have to go find new, unproven, untested, potentially unsafe extensions and whatnot to pretty much do the same function. And obviously, when you're moving all these people onto these unproven extensions and whatnot and whatever, yeah, of course, it opens up the potential that, hey, what if, somebody with malicious intentions or whatever, what if they determine, oh, hey, it's going to be easy for us to do this or whatever, and they decide to fucking hack people or whatever, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know exactly how that all works and whatnot, but I'm assuming that is a possibility, right? That just because everyone's going to all these different extensions and whatever that they've never used before, that people could get fucked ultimately. And then people are just going to view it as like a security issue. And like, that's not a good thing for a website, man. You don't want people dabbling in the idea that your website is legitimately unsafe to use, because then that really fucks your reputation. So if I'm YouTube, like, what do you really do, right? Like, do you just continue losing all this money because of ad blockers? Do you get more intense with everything in terms of like trying to block shit? I don't know. I mean, what do you do? I honestly, I've just kind of done nothing the whole time, but of course I'm the creator, I'm not YouTube, but YouTube has been dealing with it just fine for all this time, it seems like, right? Like all these years, not to say that they're like super profitable or whatever, and they shouldn't care, but like, I mean, this hasn't been an existential threat to YouTube in the 20 almost years that it's existed. I don't really see it being one now, right? I mean, there's so many different monetization efforts through YouTube now. I mean, for complete sake of argument here, just to explain it, not only do I make ad revenue on this video, I can, under this video, put my own merchandise for you guys to buy directly under the YouTube video. You can get sponsorships for your videos, of course. I typically don't do them, but you can get them. There's now YouTube shopping, and you can like partner with fucking Target and GameStop and all these other different companies, and you can sell their products under your videos and get commission for them. People can buy channel memberships like Watch Optimus and whatnot and support your content directly for perks. There's so many different ways for YouTube to monetize the platform now. I don't really see this being like the necessary move forward. And it's just put them in a game of chicken with the entire community now that historically YouTube will not win. And I don't think, realistically, that's a good idea for the platform in terms of reputation, community outreach, whatever, right? So, with that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, watching German NFL football and complaining about YouTube ad blocking, and signing out.